Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Big Dave's Healthy Happy Hour. We are getting started here. Tonight we've got a very special episode. I'm going to welcome on a woman called Debbie Testa, and there goes the dog. Debbie is the proprietor of Testa's Pantry, imports of fine foods up in my hometown, Schenectady, New York, Albany, New York region. And we're going to ask her about all that fun stuff just as soon as Judy puts the dog in the other room. Okay, here we go. Without further ado, here's Debbie.
Well, thank you for having me, David. And
Hey, Debbie. Yeah.
hi, happy Heart Health Month. Say that fast 3 times.
Yes, Heart Health Month.
Yes, absolutely. And
love it.
I love the dog barking in the background.
Well, we keep it real here, that's what we try to do. So,
well, that's what we all do.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'll tell my story of how I first discovered. Actually, I got some right here. How I first discovered Testa's olive oil. Hey, cheers!
Cheers.
We'll do shots later on. It is happy hour after all.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, this was going back more than a couple of months now, but Judy and I were back in the capital region. We were heading up to the Adirondacks for a week, and we had stopped along the way at one of our favorite little stores, which is the Delmar Marketplace. Little shop that has nice sandwich bar. When you're on the road, you can get a sandwich there, and you get foods, and they have some prepared foods and things. But more importantly, one of the most important ingredients they have there is the Nuns of New Skeet cheesecake, which is a longtime favorite in our family. And Judy tried it the first time a couple of years ago, was completely hooked. So when we're on vacation, we splurge a little, we get ourselves a cheesecake, and we brought it. So we were browsing around the aisles, and what else do they have here? What are some of the other fun finds that we have? And we saw, sure enough, Testa's Pantry olive oil, and oh, this looks good. I had I had just begun my own ketogenic diet journey, so I was interested in finding higher fat foods. Obviously, cheesecake does not fill the bill, folks, but I was interested in how to eat and how to cook and all these things, and so we tried it, and it was absolutely delicious. I mean, we had salads every night, fresh salads with straight up olive oil, a little bit of salt. I don't know if we even used balsamic at that point, but we used it on salads, on vegetables. We used it to saute our vegetables, asparagus sauteed in olive oil. Just delicious. I think we went through it. It didn't even last the whole week. So on the way back down here to the DC region, we stopped again at Delmar, and I think we bought out the store of everything they had. So
now I know why they ordered so soon again. Okay.
Well, there you go. That was all us. So yeah, really great stuff, and we really enjoyed it. So that was our first introduction, and but let me hear your story a little bit. How did you get into the fine foods business, olive oil and balsamic and imports and everything like that? So take us back to the beginning, if you would.
That's a very interesting journey, and thank you for bringing up Delmar Marketplace. John and Mary are wonderful people, and we love doing business with them. They are the store is one of our very best customers, and we just love having them there. And so many people have said, you need to stay there forever. So I'm hoping we have a very long and prosperous relationship, and thank you for bringing them up. I always like to promote our retail stores.
Absolutely.
It's been a long journey for us. Well, back in 2016, as I was looking for gainful employment and realizing I didn't want to work for somebody else anymore. And Peter and I were always trying to find really good extra virgin olive oil. Peter was born on an olive farm, ironically, in Italy. And that's so he was used to having really, really high quality, fresh product growing up.
Mhm.
And he took me to Great Barrington, Massachusetts, to a little import store and said, "You need to try this olive oil. It's the closest that I've been able to come uh, to what's at home." And he called them flavors, but they really weren't flavors. He had a couple different varieties. There was one from Greece, one from Tunisia, one from Italy, and another one maybe from Chile. But he said, "Okay, this one's lemony, this one's peppery."
Mm.
And I said, "How is that possible?" And then you're tasting them right out of these little cups. And I said, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that." And I was hooked. I
Yeah.
was hooked that very first time. And that's when I realized that there was nothing better. And so that was a while ago. That was back in like 2014, 2015. And so in 2016, like I said, we were thinking about this and starting to do some research into our own business and perhaps being able to import these olive oils and how we could do it. So we looked into different distributorships and decided that we just didn't want to follow the norm. We wanted to do something that was very pure and fresh and traditional. And we were able to find a place in New Jersey where we're able to work. They do a lot of the sourcing for us.
Hmm.
Full disclosure, we do our own sourcing on balsamics, but as far as the olive oil, there are too many small farms in the world for us to visit all of them. Now, there are a couple that I have written down that I want to go to. One being in Tunisia. We do not have a Tunisian olive oil at this particular juncture, and we would love to actually get our hands on it. And so we did some sampling when we went to our very first fancy food show in the spring of 2017. So anyways, that's how it all came about. We decided to give it a shot. We tasted, we sampled, we picked out our favorites. We selected the four that we thought were going to be the most popular and sell the best within
Mhm.
the realm of our area. And then we moved on to the balsamics, did the same thing there, and the rest is history. So we brought these products in, and we were able to lease an Ags and Market certified location where we could do our bottling in
Mhm.
July of 2017. But we actually kind of started before that in the spring when we were able to bring in some of the products. So we've been going gangbusters ever since. It's grown, it's snowballed, and we're so pleased with the way that it's going. People are very happy with the product, and we're very proud of the quality and the. I hate to say sustainability because that's a buzzword these days.
Sure.
It is, because we'll take these bottles back if somebody wants to give them to us. Unfortunately, when we sell to retailers, we can't always do that. And we haven't figured out a way to do the whole return thing yet. But the olive oil is pure. It's all dated. We have a 2-year shelf life for the most part from the time that we receive it. So that's really good. So
Yeah.
from the time that we crack open our big vats that we receive these in, there's a 2-year shelf life. That's pretty amazing. And the balsamics are the longevity on a traditional balsamic is as long as it's a really good one, and that's what we carry. So we've
That's
been
cool.
really happy, been very happy, and the health benefits are beyond belief. And and both olive oil and balsamic. And we've been researching this for the last 3 4 years.
Yeah, well, let's get into that because I'm very interested in this whole idea. My own story, which I tell in my book, my unremarkable brain, and um, in stores now, Amazon and Barnes and Noble and wherever books are sold, folks. But my own story is about how it was epilepsy that and which I was diagnosed when I was 28 years old, and sort of went the traditional route. They told me take a pill. I said, okay, I'll take a pill, and then kind of did that thing. And a few years went by. One thing led to another. I kind of became interested in weight loss, and then through my weight loss journey, I actually learned about the connection between food and brain health. And so, my book is really about the discovery of that story. But one of the things that, really struck me as I looked was really just the connection between what we eat and our health, our longevity, our, cognitive abilities, all kinds of really, really interesting connections. And so, one of the and olive oil comes up again and again. I mean, the Mediterranean diet, right? The keto diet. I mean, sort of one of the things that everyone seems to agree on, whatever your dietary preference is, olive oil. And so let's talk a little bit about that, that connection. What are some of the things, that you've found over the years? Because I know you've done a lot of research on this, olive oil and health effects.
Olive oil has been proven to lower cholesterol, and I'm living proof of that. I have a customer, not one of our retail outlets, but an actual customer who purchases from us. He's European, Eastern European, and he takes 2 tablespoons each day. I don't know whether he puts it in any of his food or if he cooks with it. All I know is that he swigs 2 tablespoons in the morning, like people take their vitamins or whatever.
Wow.
And he absolutely swears by it. And I can understand why, because the benefits are amazing. Now, we're talking about extra virgin olive oil. There are differences in the qualities. The antioxidants are the strongest and don't break down in an extra virgin olive oil. There are several different grades of olive oil. As when you get into an olive oil, just olive oil, not virgin or extra virgin, combining refined olive oil with a virgin olive oil. Once you get a refined olive oil, you've broken down all of the antioxidant properties, and so therefore the benefits are not there. You are even when you heat, people say, well, I don't use extra virgin olive oil to cook with. Myth. And this is a myth that we're trying to debunk.
Okay.
Because extra virgin olive oil is the best cooking oil, because what happens is the properties that are so beneficial to your health, the antioxidants, the polyphenols, the oleic acid, doesn't break down and go away. There's been research done. Now, there was a study that was conducted in 2018 in Australia, where a group of scientists tested extra virgin olive oil against olive oil, against avocado oil, against canola oil, just to name a few. And extra virgin olive oil, heated at a consistent rate of 356 degrees for 36 hours, still maintained its chemical compounds. And so, I mean, that's a long time. Now, even though we heat in American cooking our oil to make French fries or whatever, and we heat it way above what's classified as smoke point,
right?
Still, it maintains its integrity far better than any other oil out there.
Is that right?
Maintains all of the benefits and all of its integrity, all of the antioxidants, and it doesn't break down. So even though you get that smokiness and maybe a little bit of smell,
Yeah.
it maintains its benefits. So I have all the studies to prove it right here.
That's interesting. Yeah, because you do hear that smoke point thing all the time, right? That's
No,
um, and I've heard theories that, that's really something that's being put out there by the folks who sell canola oil or some other thing,
they need to sell their products. I mean, I'm not trying to
oil
take it
wars.
away from them, but it's, and this is not just because I'm trying to sell extra virgin olive oil, it's because it's fact
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's been proven. So you've got, it treats, in your case, it's helping the brain connection, which also helps Alzheimer's. There's been studies done that extra virgin olive oil actually it can help treat the effects of Alzheimer's disease, which I find amazing.
Wow.
And I mean, aside from all of the insides, it helps your colon health. It helps all of your heart health, the heart, the cardiovascular system. So
Wow. Wow. Interesting. So um, I want to jump back quick for a second, though. You used a couple of different terms, right? You talked about virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, refined olive oil, right?
yes.
Are those the three types? Did I leave anything out?
Oh, let's see. We have here
So I'm just
extra
curious about how those.
virgin. Yeah, you have lampant, you have refined, you have olive oil, pomace oil,
Hmm,
tons of them. And
I'm just.
once the refined olive oil, um, it's not mechanical. It's not extracted by mechanical means, but all alterations are made to the extra virgin olive oil or the olive oil. So what happens is that you have extra virgin olive oil that's up here,
Okay.
and that's the highest quality.
Okay.
And it's the ones that we carry are single grove grown and first cold pressed. So
Hmm.
there are no adulterations made to that particular oil. So they're taken off the tree, they're harvested, they're mechanically crushed, and
They're stuck in a machine and they twist it closed and
they're
smush
ground
them.
down and they're pushed down. And the oil is extracted.
Okay.
And what happens is then you have the mash that's left. That makes pomace oil, the
Hmm.
mash. And so then that's refined. That
Hmm.
refined oil is, you get you get olive oils, natural olive oils, and then they're deodorized
Hmm.
or bleached. And that's a
Oh.
refined oil. And you lose all of the benefits from olive oil when that happens. You're losing the alterations in the initial glyceride structure, is how it's phrased.
Hmm. Okay.
That's
Okay.
the difference between olive oil and refined oil. And then you have regular olive oil is a combination. Regular olive oil, so those big cans in the grocery store shelves, you get regular olive oil. That doesn't say extra virgin, it'll just say olive oil. It's a refined oil mixed with an olive oil.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
So the benefits aren't there.
Hmm.
It's interesting. It's fit for consumption, but it has a higher acidity level,
Hmm.
and so which is not bad, but the polyphenols and the characteristics are broken down.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So it's somehow through that chemical process, it loses all of the
Yes,
beneficial compounds that would be in the plant, right? That would,
yes.
as we would consume it,
Now,
right?
why would anybody want to do that? Well, it's because you've already extracted your extra virgin olive oil off of the top,
Hmm.
and then you have what's left. And then, okay, there's not enough to make a big barrel. So I'm going to combine this with other varieties,
Hmm.
and then it's going to be a blended olive oil. And then you have all of this mash at the bottom of the barrel. What am I going to do with that? I'm going to make a pomace oil. And
Hmm.
pomace oil, if it's refined, let's see, can You can make refined. It is used for human consumption. It's just that it doesn't have any benefits at all.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Right, because a question came in from John Saunders. Hey, John. And he said the big health benefits only come from the extra virgin olive oil. And it sounds like that's what you're saying, right? That sort of
Yes.
loses all that good stuff in the process.
Mhm. That's right. The
Okay.
benefits only, you can get oleic acid is found in olive oil, virgin olive oil, and extra virgin olive oil. But the extra virgin olive oil has the greatest amount of health benefits because nothing is broken down.
Mhm.
So oleic acid in extra virgin olive oil and that's where the characteristics lie.
Okay.
Extra virgin olive oil has oleic acid at 0.8 grams per 100 grams of product. So
Okay.
that's the way it's supposed to be, and it's not greater than that.
Right.
And that's where you want that to be.
Okay. Interesting.
It's all
Interesting.
about the oleic acid,
Cool.
and it's a omega-9 acid,
Ah, okay.
which is,
Okay.
I know that some people are taking the triple omegas.
Right. Omega-3, omega-6,
Yes,
yeah. Yeah.
omega-9.
Okay, excellent. So that's important too, because I do hear about, we get too much of the omega-6, I think, in our diet these days, but we need to sort of balance that out, right?
Right. Mhm.
When you mentioned your cholesterol, I'm curious, was it a lowering overall? Was it a HDL going up, LDL coming down? Do you remember?
Okay, now HDL and LDL, you've got me. I always get them mixed up, so
I know
bear
that
with
HDL is the good one. You want more of the
me.
HDL,
That's the
less
good
of
one.
the LDL.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right. All I know is that my good cholesterol went up and the bad cholesterol came down.
There
I
you
was a candidate for medication that I absolutely refused to take for at least 10 years. I
go.
said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, over the past 3 years, last year, my doctor said to me, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. So
There you
the triglycerides came down and the bad cholesterol came down, the good cholesterol went up. And so I said, yeah, it's the olive oil. It's the extra virgin olive
There you
oil. I'm
go.
telling you,
There you
that's
go.
what's doing it.
And
So
you talked about this, but I love that on yours, we've got the little handwritten date, right?
I have to. Oh,
Harvest date, fall of 19 was this one, and it's
yes,
best before 6/2022. So we got a
yes.
little bit more time before
Yeah,
we got to stock up again.
I
But
know. No, it is. That's important. You have to have the best by date. And I don't know. I think that it just means a lot to have it handwritten in there. It
yeah,
really
no, I
does.
love that. I love that because it really is that personal touch.
Hmm.
Um, and so when you're importing these, and this, just to get my curiosity about I always love to find out how stuff works, the ins and outs. So you're importing, is it big barrels kind of thing, and then you're bottling it from
We
here.
we import in well, first of all, the barrels, I can't do those. They're not even barrels. They're like huge vats. We can't we can't accommodate the vats that are safe on a ship.
Okay.
When we import our balsamics from Italy, the safest way on a container, on a pallet, is in smaller containers. So
Okay.
we obtain ours in either 5 or 10 liter containers,
Okay.
depending upon the producer.
Mhm.
And then from there we bottle them. We wanted to get the barrels, which are manageable, and then you just siphon them out, but they are not utilized as much as
Mm,
ginormous vats that have to fit
gotcha.
into a huge warehouse. We don't have a huge warehouse. I maybe someday, but not yet.
Right. Right.
So no, they're in 5 to 10 liter containers is how we receive them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's always interesting to me, especially small business, right? You're trying to make
Yes.
make things manageable, and get it to market. You mentioned also balsamic vinegar, which is another. I always love balsamic vinegar as well. And you posted just the other day on Facebook. You posted an article about the history of balsamic vinegar, and I thought
Fascinating. Oh,
really fascinating. Yeah, yeah. Would you mind giving folks just a little taste of that?
oh, I think it was in 1046. A Contessa of, now I can't remember her name. I don't have that in front of me.
I'm putting you on the spot. Sorry.
That's okay. But there was a lord who was trying to win the hand of a Contessa.
Hmm.
And he decided that the best way to do it would be to bring her father some of his prized possession, which was balsamic.
Hmm.
And balsamic is interesting because we don't know the secrets, and every single achitaya has a different method of extracting the grapes and of aging in the process, and how much must to add to the actual extracted juice from the grape. So it's really interesting. But all I know is that we start in the vats that the juice of the grapes are started in go from floor to ceiling in a warehouse.
Wow.
And then they go into a cask, and then they go into, the barrels that you see that wine. I don't know, my grandfather and my husband's father aged wine in the barrels that stood probably about, maybe 3-4 feet off the ground.
Mhm.
And that's when they get transferred into there. So barrels keep getting smaller and smaller as the aging process goes on. So the smaller the barrel, the ones that get onto the tabletop, that's the dearest. That's the most dear product, and that's what they call a prized possession. The aging duration on those particular small barrels is probably 50 plus years. So
Wow.
saying is, in Italy, you don't make balsamic for yourself, you make it for your grandchildren.
Wow.
The better balsamics are the ones that have been aged a while. Now, the traditional balsamics that we carry have been aged 8 to 10 years, and then the next one is aged 12 to 15 years. They're beautiful. They really are. But the price is affordable. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, once you start getting over 25 years, the aging process of a balsamic, the price goes up
Oh,
exponentially.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's like wine or scotch or anything like that, right?
Those little fancy bottles, we don't
Yeah.
have any of those. Ours are normal. They just like that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love it. Um, and in fact, that's why if folks who pre-ordered 2 copies of my book, you'll get a little sample pack of Testa's Pantry olive oil and balsamic. So keep an eye on
Right.
your mailbox. Um, I missed a question here. There was a question from Powie. She says, going back to olive oil, does the taste differ based on the place where the olives are from?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. A single grown olive oil is very unique. It takes on the characteristics of the area and the region in which it's grown. The olives are grown. So you have, for instance, we have a Koroneki organic from Crete
Mm-hmm.
that tastes like grass. It's so fresh.
Mm.
And my husband always says, oh, it tastes like somebody is squeezing an olive right into your mouth when you
Mm.
taste it. And then we have from Sicily a nocellara that's just buttery. So what happens is that whatever is growing in the region surrounding the olives, you're going to have that imparted into the tree as well, the olive tree itself. Our Oki Blanca from Spain, it's from Andalusia, Spain. It's peppery and fruity, and if you really study it, you can actually taste a little bit of pear. So
Wow.
it's really interesting. It's like a really nice, you taste wine and you do your sampling. It's the same thing. It's just like tasting wine. So
Wow.
it's really fascinating.
Uh,
And as far as the balsamics, you get into the grapes. They all taste different, and every single Achitaya's product tastes different.
Interesting. But of course, balsamic is all from a smaller area, right? It's not all over Europe, right? I mean, it's generally from Modena area.
There was, yes, from the Modena region, the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy, which is in northern Italy, up by the Florence area. So the interesting thing is that there was a German production recently of balsamic, and there was a huge lawsuit by the Italian Ministry of Agriculture saying that the German company could not call their product balsamic because it was indicative of an Italian product. And they
Wow.
lost the battle because it's the way that it's produced that creates balsamic.
Mm.
But what's interesting is that the balsamics, a true balsamic, is made and it's an IGP rated product, which means intended geographic destination protection.
Oh, sure.
DOP, which is designated area. So the grapes have to come from that particular region in which the Ashitaya is producing the balsamic. So
Right.
Germany felt that they were perfectly in order because they were using grapes local to their Ashitaya.
I see. I see. That is interesting. That is
Yes,
interesting. They're very. I know that a lot of these European countries are very territorial about their traditional foods, right?
yes, they are,
Yeah.
especially the Italians. Yes.
Yeah. Um, so, what have been in your journey along? You said you've been at this about 4 years, right? What are some of the big surprises that have come up along the way? What are some of the things that you've successes and stories and big surprises and as far as your um, creating this business?
Surprise number one is that people are really impressed with local.
Mm,
I didn't think it was going to have that much of an impact, but when they hear, "Oh, you're local," okay, we're
yeah,
into that. So even though we're importing and we are obtaining products from Europe
yeah,
at this particular juncture, we are a local bottling company. So
right.
because we are bringing this product from a local source, then that makes people very happy. We are very into organic and natural, and that isn't as important to people, which I thought it would be.
Hmm.
Okay, so we are really trying to maintain traditional and organic and healthy, and people like the look of the bottle. This is really pretty, and all right. So, but our biggest surprise is customs and how
Mm,
difficult and tricky it is, and the
really?
FDA. So these are things that we learn as we go along. The FDA is not a stumbling block. They are our partners, and they
Mhm.
make sure that everything is on the up and up. And so that was a surprise though, because things get delayed at sea. Products get delayed coming into port because the FDA goes onto the ship and actually samples everything coming into port.
Oh, wow.
So that was a surprise.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I didn't know that was that they were that hands-on and intense.
they
Yeah.
are, yes.
Wow.
So it's that was a surprise. It was a little bit of a stumbling block, but
Hmm.
we got over it and moved on.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's been that was pretty much it. So there, I mean, interesting things. We've been pretty pleased overall with the reception that we have gotten.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a great product, and like I said, it speaks for itself in some ways, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of word of mouth, and folks are you know spreading the word, and
They do. What people really like the most is being able to come to a demo at a
Hmm,
store. And that's what I think this whole year has been difficult for everybody because we can't do demos.
sure.
And we loved having a plate of tomatoes on a table and then drizzling some balsamic over it, or
Hmm.
some watermelon cut up. And I used to go to different shows and do some different dishes and prepare some chicken or some different cheeses even,
Yeah.
talking about your cheesecake there.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because we can't do that now. So
Yeah.
we talk about it as much as we can, but people like to know the applications the same as they would anything else.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. I remember one time in this area here, it was I went to an Italian store and they were doing vanilla ice cream with balsamic vinegar on it. And I thought,
Yes.
that's crazy. Are you kidding me? But it was so tasty. It was so good.
So good. It's
Yeah.
so good. That's our Oro is what Peter always says. Oh, you should try it on ice cream. It's great. It
Yeah.
really is. And then we have a white we can't call it a balsamic, even though it's manufactured in the same way as our traditional balsamics. The white though is called condimento. And we have an aged one that has some must added to it, and it has a higher density
Mm.
than just a lowly aged that doesn't sound right. than an aged
A younger.
a younger. There we go.
There we
Thanks,
go.
David. Than a younger balsamic. So this one has been aged for a while, and it's so thick. And it's
Mm.
delicious over fruit. So we'll put some over watermelon and mint. Oh my gosh, it's to die for.
Oh, that sounds
Really is
amazing.
so good because you take watermelon and it's sweet and it's good, but then you'd add a little bit of mint. It's really good. The mint kind of enhances it, but then you put this condiment over it. This nice thick white balsamic. It's so good.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
elevates it.
Yeah. Now you are making me hungry. Um, Pally asks, well, let me add to her question. How many retailers do you guys work with now?
We are about 30.
Wow.
On average.
Mm-hmm.
We have several in the capital region, and we have extended downstate into the Kingston area and in Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
And let's see, Kingston, Poughkeepsie, Kinderhook, over into Ghent,
Mm-hmm.
mostly at natural food stores, farm stores, health food markets to a certain extent, but like the co-ops
Right.
are very big. So we're in those areas. And then we're in Massachusetts as well, and in Vermont. We have 2 stores in Vermont. Both are kind of like along the lines of a butcher shop or a sausage maker.
Oh, okay.
So those are in Vermont. And then we are in Massachusetts. We're in Newton and Great Barrington and in Springfield. So we're working on a few more.
Great. Going
But
great, guns.
locally, we have quite a few.
Great. And
Here.
you don't have your own storefront, right?
No, we have a website that is oftentimes glitchy, and I have to bug our designer, but it does work, and it gives one benefit of our website is that you can get full descriptions and true prices. If you want to order off of it and it doesn't work, then pick up the phone and call me, or email me or text. And I know one of my friends did that to me today. She says, I tried ordering. And I was just on the phone with our designer last week to do something else, so I might have to contact him again.
Okay.
But it's there. The website is great for descriptions, for history, for all of the little bit of details about each product.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love how you really kind of tell the story of each product, that's where I got the idea to ask you about the balsamic vinegar and the history of it,
I,
it's almost like a blog, you
I
have
know
all
that
this
story is fascinating. I just wish I
yeah.
had it committed to memory, but I
Oh,
don't.
no, that's all right. But that is testaspantry.com, right?
It is. It is. We have a
Make sure I have it
lot of
right up here on the screen.
pantry items too. We used to have a lot more pantry items, but we've cut back some at this particular juncture. We're just not doing as much. We have these great chocolates though. French chocolate truffles that are to die for. And the olives are from Puglia, which Puglia is the area to the east, the southeast, well, no, Middle East of the Italian boot.
Okay.
It's just a little north of Termoli. It's up in that area. So Puglia is an olive growing region. As a matter of fact, that's one of the farms that I want to go visit when next time we go.
Great.
Looking forward to it.
Great. Well, folks, check that out, testaspantry.com, and follow Debbie on Facebook. I love your cooking videos and the info that you share. A lot of fun. So keep that up. If you can't do demos in person, right? I mean,
that's it. And like I said, I'm a huge believer in keeping things simple. So that's what we do. We're keeping it simple, and we do recipes that are very quick and easy to follow, and shows a really nice utilization of the products.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate you following me too, and you liking all those different.
Oh, of course.
I appreciate that. That's very nice.
It brightens my work day as I'm scrolling through and trying to escape from some boring meeting. I was like, ooh, cooking videos. That's fun.
I know. Teaching has been a struggle, so God bless you for that.
No, thanks. Well, thank you so much for making the time to be here, Debbie.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of fun talking to you. And folks, do check out everything that she's got going on over at testaspantry.com. I cannot speak highly enough about this. I'm going to bust it open for my happy hour in just a minute.
Thank you. And good luck with your book too. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
All right.
And hang on just a second. I'll say goodbye to you off the air. But folks, if you like what's going on here, tune in next week. Our next Dave's Healthy Happy Hour, we'll be talking to a real cowgirl, Libby Lewis from Lewis Cattle Company here in Northern Virginia. And we'll talk about the beef cattle raising business and what that's all about. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.